everybody, Lord Tremendous here, and I got another battle report here for you. This is game 3 of 3 of the team tournament I attended at ADEPTICON 2017. If you watched my last 2 battle reports, I think you knew this one was coming. But it is I, Lord Tremendous of the Ogre Cons, and my partner, the Punisher of the Kingdom of Equitaine, versus Alex Meyer of the Beast Herds and Maxwell Lepora of the Infernal Dwarves. And this is really cool because, first of all, these guys were awesome. And second of all, I've never seen the Infernal Dwarves, ever. I've never played against them in my almost 10 years of wargaming, playing this version of gaming. I've never faced Infernal Dwarves. So even though I'm not really facing them, you know, like one-on-one, is the first time I've ever been on a table where they were an opponent or anything like that. So this is pretty cool, and I was excited to play this game. So sit back, relax, and get ready to let the sultry tones of my voice guide you through this one. Scenario for this one was right out of the book. The deployment was in circle, and the secondary objective was capture the flag, which basically means we picked up to 3 units, and there were some stipulations on it, but basically you had to kill more units that you chose after deployment than your opponent did to get the objective. Here's my list, and nothing has changed over the past 2 battle reports because that would be cheating, so I'm going to blaze right through it. I got my Shaman Skaz, he's my general, he's got 3 learned spells, Talisman of Greater Shielding, and he uses the Path of Thaumaturgy. And then I got the man, the myth, the legend himself, my Mammoth Hunter, Lord Tremendous. He's got an Ogre Crossbow, the Obsidian Blade, the Armor of Fortune, he's got the big name Headhunter, and he's on his trusty Tusker, the War Teddy. Oh yeah. My core choice, I have a unit of 8 tribesmen, with the good old boys, with Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, and the Flaming Standard. And then I have for my special choice, a unit of 2 Tusker Cav with great weapons. And then for my Chained Beast category, my Rock Warhammer! And the rider with lance is none other than Shyhammer! Oh, I enjoyed that model for so many reasons. Anyway, that's it for my list. I'm going to post my partners and my opponent's list. I'll play some music. Feel free to pause it whenever you'd like to see what they took. My spells. I got Smite the Unbeliever, I got Speaking in Tongues, and Cleansing Fire. You will see how those do for me this game. And here's deployment. Once again, we just threw all our stuff down because with Kingdom of Equitaine, you don't get the bonuses, and so we'd rather have a straight up roll-off as opposed to them just, going first automatically. So anyway, we threw all of our stuff down, and I honestly didn't know what to expect with the Infernal Dwarves. I looked at his list, none of the words made any sense to me, so, I looked at my partner, he looked at me, and I was like, I know that the Beastman has a couple of ambushing units, so we took our General Lord Tremendous and we put them in the back there, facing the sides. That way, hopefully, if they ambush in turn 2, they'll be able to countercharge them and take them out before they can do any damage to us. I just didn't want Skaz to get murdered by them immediately. You'll see how that works out later. And then my partner took the left side, I took the right side, and we deployed. It's the encircle one, so that's why we're a little bit further up on the right side than in the middle. I believe we're the attackers. Anyway, as you can see, they deployed up top there. Infernal Doors mostly on the left, Beast Herds mostly on the right. And he did take out a Vanguard unit and put it right in front of my Rock in order to try to draw the Frenzy Charge. That's pretty much it for deployment. Here's top of 1 after movement, and we got to go first. And my opponent's gamble with trying to draw out the Frenzy Charge was a smart move because, man, my Rock could not wait to slam into that useless unit of dogs. And he did. I failed my Frenzy check by a landslide and charged into the side of those dogs. They passed their terror check, and I make my charge, which sucks because I'm going to overrun and there's a Gortatch and everything else that's bad is right there. So my Rock is dead for about 20 points of dogs, which sucks. But well played by my opponents. What can you do? Everything else just kind of moves up to countercharge the Rock's eventual demise. I have the Tusker Cav. I have my, what's it called? Tribesmen, they're ready to countercharge whatever kills the Rock because I know he's going to end up like right in front of the Gortak. My partner moves his stuff up across the forest, and that's really it for movement. We leave Lord Tremendous and our generals in the back to wait for the ambushing units. Nothing happens in magic or shooting, so we go straight into combat, and hey, go figure, impact hits alone was enough to take out the dogs. Yay! My Rock overruns a lot, I think about 9 to 10 inches, and ends up right there in front of the Gortatch and a chariot and everything. So, yeah, my Rock is dead, but hopefully my Tusker Cav and my good old boys can countercharge and earn those points back. Man, I got outplayed here. So with that, we go over here to bottom of 1 after movement, and as you can see, everything slams into the Rock. A Gortatch, a big unit of crazy-looking things, some sort of monstrous cav. I'm not really sure what they are, but they look big, they look scary, and they look like they'll do enough to take out my Rock. What can you do? The Infernal Dwarves, the what are they called again? The Catum Incarnates are the little blue guys. They move out in front of the Knights there, daring them to charge them, which was interesting because we just didn't know what they did. Our opponents told us they weren't trying to keep secrets or play gamey or anything like that. I'm not familiar with the army list, and neither is my partner, so we're just kind of looking at it. I'm like, well, when in doubt, charge. So that was going to be my partner's plan for the next turn. And then his big unit of centaurs come around the left side of the house there, daring the knights to charge them, which there's a very good chance they're going to. So yeah, they just didn't seem afraid of us at all, and so far they're right. But yeah, that's really it for movement. There's been a picture of Warhammer and Shyhammer getting what they deserve for being over-eager. You can't say that these guys aren't motivated, but yeah, sometimes it gets them into bad situations. During the shooting phase, I'm not exactly sure what unit shoots at him. I think it was one of the Infernal Guards, the Citadel Guards with their flintlock axes. I think it was them, but they shoot at Skaz and are able to slip a wound through on him, which actually I'm surprised he survived, so I'm proud of him. We go into combat, and it's ugly. Impact hits alone, I think, do 5 wounds to him, and I'm only initiative, I think, 2 and 3. So, yeah, everything got to go before me. I don't do any wounds to anything before Shyhammer Warhammer gets slaughtered. That really sucks, but you can't fault my opponents for playing intelligently, and that was a great bait and switch. All I can do is hope that my counter charges are enough to take these guys out. The resulting reforms, I guess, and just like this. So I'm not going to get any flank charges, but well, maybe. We'll see. Here's top of 2 after movement, and we go in pretty hard. As you can see, the Crusading Peasants and the Knights slam into the what are they? Catam Incarnates. The other unit knights decide not to go into the centaurs. Their initiative is higher than the knights, and they do a lot of damage. They're like strength 6 or 7 or something insane because they're drunk. My partner's general, we abandoned waiting for the, what's it called, the ambushing units. We're like, screw it, everything's up forward anyway, so we start moving in. My partner's general flies up there to try to use his dragon lance on the centaurs before they get in. Lord Tremendous moves up 8 inches to fire a shot at the chariot. Skaz comes off the hill and moves forward to try to do some damage and magic. The good old boys and the Tusker Calves slam into the Gortatch. And I do this because I want to make sure that monster dies. I don't want to split everything. And to be honest with you, the whatever they are, the weird, I think maybe they're anointed. I'm not really sure. But whatever those big beast things are, I'm not worried about them. They're out of position. So it's going to take my opponent's turn to get him back into position, and then another turn to actually charge with them. And by then, the game could be over. So they're fine where they're at. I can take out the Gortatch and maybe overrun and slam into either that big crazy unit of monstrous infantry or cavalry or whatever, or turn to face the chariots that are coming in. There's a whole bunch of different things I can do. So I decided if the monster's dead, that's better than nothing. And that's it for movement. There's a better picture of the good old boys and the Tusker Calves slamming into Gortatch, and I'm hoping this thing dies quickly. And here's a really good picture, in my opinion, of the lance and the unit of peasants slamming into the incarnates. We don't know what that unit does, but damn it, we're about to find out, because that's a lot of points slammed into one unit. During the magic phase, I get Smite the Unbeliever off on the Gortatch, and I think I lower its toughness by 1. I'm pretty sure I did. Very pleased about that. That's exactly what I wanted to go down. We go into combat, and it's beautiful. Impact hits alone take this thing down before anything else, mostly because its toughness was lowered by 1. So, very pleased that one worked out. And I didn't get a great picture of it, but my good old boys, I think, end up in the monstrous cav over there, and the Tuskers, I think, end up overrunning into the chariot in front of us. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked out. It's a bad picture, you can kind of see it on the right there. In this combat, though, with the peasants and the knights, the incarnates get vaporized. Nothing happens to the knights, a handful of peasants die, and we get a unit. So, not a bad turnaround, if I do say so myself. Here's bottom of 2 after moving, and I was wrong. I apologize. The monstrous cav guys panicked after the Gortatch died and ran off. So my good old boys, they overran as well, trying to get a hold of them, and ended up not even coming close. I rolled like 2 or 3 inches and got stopped by the Tusker cav, who overran first. So, oops. But anyway, they rallied and turned to face the good old boys. What are they called? The Citadel Guard, they charged a flank of the Tuskers that slammed into the chariot last turn, and that's fine with me. The other chariot slams into the Crusading Peasants, who had to overrun because they were frenzied. The Knights had to overrun as well, but they got stopped by the house. And then on the left side there, the Centaurs charge into the lance, and that's going to go poorly. Other than that, the other incarnates kind of come around. The Beastman with the Impaler runs around the house to try to start throwing his stick. And the other Citadel Guard just kind of turned to face Skaz, going to try to take him out of the game. And that's it for movement. There's a better picture of the chariot slamming into Crusading Peasants, and that's probably not going to go great for the chariot. And there's a better picture of the Citadel Guard slamming into the flank of my Tusker Cav, and my Tusker Cav overrunning into that chariot last turn. So, yeah, keep in mind it's a tournament. We're kind of pressed for time, so I might not get all the pictures I was supposed to get. I apologize. And there's a better picture of the Centaur slamming into that lance, which is probably bad for that lance. During the magic phase, I don't remember what spell it was or how exactly that worked out, some sort of Ring of Fire pyromancy thing, but Skaz takes 2 more wounds. He's hanging on, but just barely. Then this unit's able to get the Wolverine totem up on it. I think the chariot or something is able to get the totem thing on him, not 100% on that. Yeah, there's a picture of this chariot. He's a totem bearer. He's a BSB, and he's able to get something off. One of the totems. I don't know. Then we go over to shooting, and the Impaler puts a single wound on my partner's general, which could have been a lot worse. We got lucky there. So we go into combat, and this poor lance, those centaurs, drunk as hell, beat this guy to death. All but one lance member dies. So charge, 4 wounds. I don't believe they have a banner or anything like that, to nothing. Maybe the lance has a banner. But anyway, one guy lives, and thanks to the general being right there, he actually makes his break check and stands, which holds that unit right there. That knight is a flippin' hero. We go into combat over here, and my Tusker Calf bounce off his BSB. Embarrassingly bounce off his BSB. Just nothing I could do. Everything that I put on him, he was able to save. The only thing that I was able to do is I think one of the Citadel Guard died to a stomp from the Tusker that lived. And that's it. I tried to kill his BSB, and I was unaware he was wearing kryptonite armor. Really broke my heart. The surviving Tusker breaks, flees, and they opt not to pursue, which I thought was interesting. And I end up bouncing through the unit of monstrous cavalry, and I take a wound from dangerous terrain. I only failed one. I was quite pleased with him, actually. Then we go over here, and the Razor Tusk Chariot gets exploded by the infantry that is the Crusading Peasants. That's awesome. So here's top of 3 after movement, and the Crusading Peasants charge into the Citadel Guard because that's one of the units we have to kill in order to make our flag. Both units of Citadel Guard, and I think maybe the unit of Monstrous Cav were the 3 we chose, and they chose the 2 lances and the Tusker Cav. I think that's who they chose. I'm almost positive on that. But anyway, we'll see how that works out in the end. So in our turn, my good old boys, strangely enough not in combat with a BSB and a bunch of Citadel Guard, charge the Monstrous Cav. Why not? I mean, alls I got is crazy, right? Skaz jumps back up on a hill because he doesn't feel like getting killed anymore. Lord Tremendous, I think, tried to charge the Citadel Guard in the flank and failed. It was a longer charge, I know, but I was hoping I could possibly make that. My partner's BSB charges out of the unit into the flank of the Incarnates, because now that we know what they do, his BSB is set up to do that, to take them out, so that was fine. And my partner's general slams into the son of a bitch with the Impaler and makes it. It was a long-ass charge. I think he needed a 10+, and he made it. We needed that. The Lance that had the BSB charge out of it reforms to look at the Centaurs that are about to kill off that heroic knight, and that's it for movement. There's a better picture of my partner's general slamming into the Beast Herd's general. And here's a better picture of my partner's BSB slamming into the Incarnates, as well as the Crusading Peasants slamming into the Citadel Guard. It's looking good on the left flank. There's a better picture of the good old boys slamming into this monstrous Cav guys. I'm not really sure what they are. Maybe they're the Anointed. I think they're Anointed, the Taruk Anointed, but I don't know what the hell they are. So I'm telling you, it's the first time I've ever seen Infernal Dwarf, so all of it's new to me. My Tusker Cav did not rally, but when he fled, I rolled 3-1, so I have another chance to bring him back. I really hope he comes back. Nothing happens in magic or shooting, which is really disappointing, so we go into combat, and oh god, my partner's general just smokes the Beast Herd's general. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was everything we needed it to be, and then he reforms like that, all heroic pose. Pretty epic fight. Over here we have a little bit of an issue, just not able to get a lot of attacks through. Just don't roll well with the Citadel, or with the Crusading Peasants. Only 3 Citadel Guard die, but in return, they don't roll that great, and only 1 peasant dies. So charge, 3 wounds, 1, 2, 3 ranks, and a banner, 8 to the 1 wound, and maybe a banner in that unit. I don't think so, though. He loses by a crap ton. They break, but they do get away. I don't have a picture of it because, again, we're kind of strapped for time, so I apologize. But they do get away, but they're almost caught, so that's a good thing. In combat over here, these things were a little bit tougher than I realized they were going to be. I still do quite well. I'm able to put 5 wounds through, killing 1 and having 1 on death's door. In return, I take 3 or 4 wounds, losing a tribesman. I win this combat, not by much, like 1 or 2. They break, they get away, but thanks to my Tusker Cav being in the way, they bounce through, off the table, and they're gone. So that's cool. I do pursue because I don't see why I shouldn't, and I end up an inch away from the Tusker Cav. So I'm not in terrible position, but it's going to take me a minute to get these guys back into the game. So over here with my partner's BSB and the Incarnates, he doesn't do any wounds, I don't believe. Just there, he's able to make his saves and everything. But in return, he doesn't take any wounds. I take that back. I think maybe one wound got done to the Incarnates. They aren't able to do anything back, so charge, flank, BSB, and a wound to nothing. They lose by 4, but they're steadfast. Alright, they're not steadfast, they fly, that's impossible. But they lose by 4, which is pretty freaking good. And after his roll, he ends up losing 2 guys, and one's carrying a wound. And I believe he fails his leadership check to reform and face the BSB, so he's still in their flank, which is really, really good for us. In this fight over here, the final knight does die. But you know what? He goes down like a champion, and we couldn't have been happier with him. So here's bottom of 3 after movement, and it's getting real. The Centaurs did reform to face the Lance, and they charge into the Lance. What can you do? The Chariot and the other Citadel Guard kind of... Well, the Chariot turns to face the Peasants, and I think the Citadel Guard turned to face Skaz. The ambushing unit, one of them comes on the table to fire off at Skaz, which, yeah, Skaz probably dead. And that's really it for movement. There's a better picture of the Centaur slamming into that Lance, and we're not feeling good about that, but you know what? What can you do? Win some, lose some. During the magic phase, I think he gets Pyroclastic Flow off. I cannot remember exactly what spell it is, but it's enough to kill off the Tusker Cav and put another wound on the Tribesman. And then he gets another spell off, which takes some wounds off of the Crusading Peasants. Not many, but he does finish off that back rank. In the shooting phase, the ambushing unit of Wild Horns, I think they are, throw all their weapons at Skaz and make him into a pincushion. And that's fine. Skaz did pretty good this game. I have nothing to really complain about. We go into combat, and the Centaurs are able to eat the Lance alive. There are no survivors. I think... No, I was going to say I think they killed one in return, but they didn't. I think that's still a full unit of Centaurs, which sucks. So yeah, those guys are really good at taking out Lances. That's a scary-ass unit. And then they reform like this. I think maybe they go after Lord Tremendous. I'm not 100% on that. And then in combat over here, the BSB is able to drop another one. I think he does like 2 wounds to him. In return, he takes 1 back, but flank, BSB, and 2 wounds to wound. They lose by 3, and after the break check, they lose, or the crumble check, or whatever it is. The instability check, there's what I'm looking for. That whole unit dies, and the BSB turns to face the Centaurs. So here's top of 4 after movement, and just as we get done with our movement portion of this turn, the refs say, or the TO say, hey, this is it, this is the last turn, finish it up. So we're trying to hurry up because we want to make sure our opponents get their bottom of 4 as well, so things go kind of crazy. Lord Tremendous charges in the Citadel Guard and make it. The Crusading Peasants charge into the Citadel Guard and make it. My partners, General and BSB, charge into the Centaurs, and both of them make it. And my good old boys just move forward into the middle of the board because they've got nothing else to do. And that's it for movement. There's been a picture of my partner's characters slamming into the Centaurs, and if this doesn't finish off the Centaurs, nothing will. There's been a picture of Lord Tremendous and the Crusading Peasants slamming into the individual units of Citadel Guard. Hopefully we kill them off. There is no magic, there is no shooting, we go straight into combat, and over here, these guys, the Crusading Peasants, kill off a decent amount of the Citadel Guard. In return, a couple of them die, but charge, 2 ranks, flank, super flank, banner, and wounds to a couple of wounds. I think they auto-break. And since the peasants are crazy, they're frenzied, they have to pursue. They pursue them off the table, and we don't leave them on the table because our opponents were very popular. I had a lot of people come by, and they were worried. We were all worried that my partner's peasants were going to get knocked off the table. So that little marker is basically where they're at, and he put his models on the other side of the table because it's just not going to matter. This is the last turn of the game. Over here, Lord Tremendous does pretty well. I'm able to kill 3 or 4 of the Citadel Guard. I take a wound in return. They are steadfast when they take their check, but they fail, they break, and they get away by an inch, which hurts my soul a little bit. Right here, though, here's where the magic happens. The BSB and KoE General are able to smoke all the centaurs. It's beautiful, especially after those guys killed both lances. So, yeah, they both turned to face the fight, but they're pretty much done for this game. They did amazing. And that brings us to bottom of 4 after movement, which there's really none. Our opponent's opt not to charge his BSB into Lord Tremendous because he's just not 100% he can win that fight. Lord Tremendous has the Obsidian Blade, so I think that guy had... That's it. He didn't have a ward save or a regen or anything like that, so any wounds that Lord Tremendous got through would have killed him. So he just leaves the Citadel Guard in there, and they're like, yeah, you're going to do what you're going to do. The ambushing unit never comes on. His second ambushing unit never comes on the table, so we get points for them. The other ones stay behind the mountain, and that's it for movement. But that's it. That's the end of the game. We ran out of time. There was a lot of conversation on both sides of the table trying to figure out. Nobody was solo playing. Neither of us wanted to lose. So we were trying real hard to make smart decisions, and it eats up time quick. So we ended up having to stop at the bottom of 4. So there's what the board looks like at the end of the game. As you can see, it looks pretty good for our team. But let's be honest. My partner did all the heavy lifting. I did not do much. I gave up my Rock. I gave up my Tusker Cav. The good old boys were able to take out some Monsters Cav, and that's really it. So I guess I did take out a Gortatch, but my partner took out everything else. It was bloody. There's not much left on the table on either side. Keep in mind, the Crusading Peasants are on the table. They come back at the top of 5, so our opponents don't get any points for them, but... Yeah, this was a bloody fight, and it was a really, really good one. But let's get into the recap, because this game is over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
So in the end, it was a victory for Lord Tremendous and the Punisher. We got 3,380 out of them. They got 2,012 out of us for a difference of 1,368, which gave us a 14-6 victory. Neither of us got the objective. My tribesmen were one of the ones they chose, and the unit of ambushing wild horns that were on the table was the other unit, so neither of us got the objective. I ended up losing Skaz, my Tusker Cavalry, and my Rock. So I got my face stomped in pretty good, but in the end, thank God, my partner was able to carry me to victory. If nothing else, this game definitely teaches you how to get carried, because I got carried the entire game, giving up the Rock, the Tusker Cav, while my partner just wiped through the entire left to center of the board. I'm glad I had an amazing partner, because otherwise this would have been 0-20 for me. Thank you, Punisher, for carrying me through this game. And like I said, Shyhammer and Warhammer, they were so eager to get into the fight, they didn't care what they fought. They just wanted to get in there. And they ended up biting off more than they could chew. But that's okay. I still love that model, still love that unit, still love those guys. And they're going to stay in the army. This was a really exciting game for me because, like I said earlier, this is the first time I've ever seen Infernal Dwarves on the table. Never played them in 8th, never played them in 9th, and it was really amazing. They were beautiful models, beautifully painted, and I really enjoyed playing against them. Really great team of guys. I mean, we were laughing, we were having fun. They had a great attitude the whole time. You couldn't ask for better opponents. And unfortunately for me, it was hard to get any momentum. I really kind of stalled out against these guys because they played really well. Thank God for me, Punisher really took it to him and was able to finish off the left and center of the table and get us the 14-6 victory. Yeah, I love this guy. What can I tell you? Like I've said a couple of times already, this was a wonderful game against some really amazing opponents. These were the guys that you want to end a tournament with, win or lose. They were excellent opponents, and it was an honor to meet and play against them. This was a terrific tournament. I've never been in a team tournament before, but if every single one I went to, every tournament I went to was run as well as this one was, nobody would ever complain about tournaments again. Just would love to rematch against any of my opponents, especially these guys. But yeah, just, I could sit here for 20 minutes and gush about how much fun this tournament was, but you'd probably unsub, and that's kind of the opposite of what I'm going for. So, Really terrific tournament, really great group of guys. Everybody was amazing. Everything about this was amazing. And now for the results. These are the results to the team tournament.
Alrighty. Again, guys, thank you for coming out. Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you all for putting up with Fergus. I know it's really, really hard. Again, I definitely want to thank Joe to help me run the event. All the people that helped fill in. Great, awesome, wonderful, wonderful teamwork. All right, so without further ado, so everybody can go ahead and get out of here. We're going to start with best sports, as always. And this was really, really close this year. Very close. I'm extremely happy with everyone. But best sports goes to Jake and Eric.
Yeah!
All right. This one is best paint. Again, extremely, extremely close. We actually had to pull somebody from another system to come and take a look at 4 of the armies to decide for us. But winners are.
Good job, man.
Not AOS. All right, so winners are John and Gary.
Better than green dice, man. Huh? I said it's better than green dice. You deserve it. Nice.
I know, I'm a dick. I don't get it. I gave him a great answer. Right? Give you a good
Moving on to best.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the difference between best general and best overall was literally 1 point difference.
You want to take
1 point. So best general, Jeff and Matt.
Excellent.
All right, so that leaves best overall for the second day in a row goes to Jeremy and Bertie.
Excellent.
All right, that is it. If you're here tomorrow, I will definitely see you tomorrow for more games and fun.
Real quick, this is part of the Battle Report where I get to thank everybody that supports me financially through Patreon, PayPal, and other means. I have many great supporters, most of which want to remain anonymous, and I respect that. However, these are the individuals that allow me to thank them properly, and I will take this opportunity to do so. Alex of the Vale Renegades, South Florida's Gamermancy team, Daniel Jolson, and Caillou Choi. Thank you guys very, very much for your patronage. I appreciate it, and I hope I continue to be worthy, especially after games like this. But that's it, everybody. Battle Report number 70 is officially in the history books. The team tournament is officially in the history books. I don't know exactly where we placed. The results have not been put up on the ADEPTICON boards as far as I can see. I hear it's on War Scroll, but I can't log in. I'm all sorts of messed up here. But honestly, I think me and my partner finished somewhere in the middle, to be perfectly honest. We lost one big, we won one big, and we won one medium. So I'm thinking we're in the middle somewhere, which is respectable, especially considering we only had like one practice game, maybe two. So I can't complain. I really can't complain. It was a great time to play with my buddy through 3 games. We had a lot of fun, laughed a lot, and it was neat. It's a neat dynamic to play a team tournament like this. Definitely looking forward to doing it again next year. But hopefully you guys come out, hopefully you participate, and hopefully we get to shake hands and get a game or two in next year. That would be awesome. But let's wrap this one up because we're approaching the 36-minute mark, and I already get complaints about the longevity of my videos. So as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.